going to tell one of their favorite Christmas memories, traditions, whichever. So maybe we'll hear some funny stories if the kids can stand it. Should we go youngest?
Yeah, go youngest.
Okay, Leanna's youngest. Hey, she is, I'll just do talking for Brad, or she is going to tell her.
I'll just tell something from Brad and I. So we were married just over a month, our first Christmas, and we decided we would go to the store. You know, an American married couple, we didn't have a whole lot of money. We were going to buy stocking stuffers for each other. So we split up, had a budget, tried not to see each other the whole time while trying to hide stuff. I think people thought we were shoplifting something. And so I think that was a few days before Christmas. Christmas Eve came, we were so excited that we opened up all of our gifts. We didn't wait. We didn't have any kids, so it didn't matter. And we still do it every year. We just do it with the kids now.
So they do all of their stocking stuff Christmas Eve?
Right.
Yep. We go get all of our stocking stuffers together and open them up.
Fun.
Okay, okay. I was trying to think of one that I know that we still do in our family, and Leanna and I were just talking about it, but we watched them up at Christmas Carol every Christmas Eve. But when Brad and I were home and did it, we would eat, it was always that spray tan cheese and crackers and like the popcorn tin. So it's still a fun tradition to watch them on Christmas Eve.
Is there something special about that movie?
Mom always liked it. We always just watched it on Christmas Eve.
The family.
Like our
Brad,
favorite version.
He was a family favorite.
Every Christmas Eve, yeah.
I think subconsciously we just adapted that in our family. Every single Christmas Eve when we're driving, whether it's to Jason's house or to here, we watch the Muppets Christmas Carol. In fact, we were driving out here and it was skipping and we were kind of bugged. But one of my most favorite Christmases that stand out the most to me was when I was 13 in junior high. Rollerblades were like all the big rage. And Mark and I, of course, had to get everything the same. We're twins. He's just the better looking one. But
did you would fight about it, or is that why you got the same
it just seemed like every Christmas Santa would always bring us the same gift. It'd be the same thing, a different color, and we really wanted rollerblades. And we wanted rollerblade brand. We wanted the Lightning model, and Santa Claus came. We woke up in the morning. We opened all our gifts. And Christmas had came and went, we thought, and we were kind of sitting there, and Mom and Dad were like, "You guys have a good Christmas?" And like, yeah, it was okay. I don't think I was probably like that because I was a hard kid. I was probably pouty and not very nice. But all of a sudden, Dad pulls out from behind the couch these two big rectangle boxes, and as soon as we saw them, they were wrapped. We knew exactly what they were, and we unwrapped our rollerblades and got dressed and strapped them on. Mark and I literally went out for 8 hours that day. We were just gone the whole day.
I'm sure that was your dad's idea to do that.
Yeah,
I would never
Mom.
cause that trauma in my
Did that to me with my
children's lives.
CTR ring too one time.
So that was really memorable Christmas. It was always nice that Mom and Dad they worked with Santa to make it nice for us growing up.
Good
start.
Okay, who's next? Greg.
Oh, is it me already?
Who's next? Yep, you're in the spotlight.
How about Jason now?
We're going younger.
Right.
He's still trying to think.
I know growing up we always were very excited for Christmas. We always stay up late trying to see if we could see Santa Claus. I think we stay up like till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I think, and then couldn't stay up and then I went to sleep, but then we woke up super early to open up all our gifts. I just know growing up we always had great Christmases growing up. We always got pretty much everything we asked for. So yeah, it's been fun in our own family. We this year Kyle decided to watch the Polar Express. How many times we could watch the Polar Express in 1 month?
Every day until tomorrow.
So, and I've watched that show for all that time. I finally understood the very end of that when the little boy Timmy finally got some friends, and the Santa Claus Billy, we finally got some friends, and Santa Claus asked him, hey, there's no greater gift than friendship. And it finally hit me up. I've watched that show all the time. There is no greater gift than friendship. Friendship is amazing. With family or with whatever, it's always good to have friends. It's never good to be alone or feel like you don't have anyone in your life. So I'm grateful for everyone here tonight that's able to come and share the friendship and family with us tonight in our home. So.
I got a few memories as a kid. I remember being, just like Greg said, always had good Christmases and good time and hanging out with everybody. I remember though when I was a little kid, when we'd go to, when I was a little kid, I remember we'd go and have Christmas at Nana's for Christmas Eve, and she would always come, and you couldn't leave your room until she sang Jolly Old St. Nicholas. She was singing at the door, and then you knew you could get out of the room and go down to presents. So that was a good memory. But one memory that really sticks out to me was one of the years I wasn't home. I was on my mission. It was the first, so I went on my mission in October. That's not right. I went on my mission in July, and my first Christmas I was on an island, and my presents didn't come from Mom. My package didn't come. And all my missionary companions, there were 6 of us on this island, or maybe 8 of us, and they all got their stuff. And I just remember thinking, oh man, it got lost in the mail, because sometimes things would come, sometimes they wouldn't. I knew they didn't forget, because Mom had already written me a letter saying they would be looking for it, but it didn't come. And I just remember how sad I was, and then it got me thinking about missing being with Jeremy and Greg and Deborah and Kim and Emily and Mark and Brad. Hope I didn't forget any. And I just remembered missing them so much that Christmas. My companions went out and all bought me something so that I had something else. So one guy bought me a bag of Army Men, one guy bought me a candy bar, one guy bought me something else. It was really cool. So still ended up being a good Christmas, but I missed my family dearly that year. But the best part is on Valentine's Day, my Christmas present showed up. So I got peanut butter for Valentine's Day / Christmas. That was it.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey, you, yeah. Well, I have to kind of reflect a little bit on what Jason said about, because even when I was a little child, we had to wait until my mom would sing Jolly Old St. Nicholas before we could come downstairs. And I didn't remember this because I'm the oldest, but my younger brothers and sisters who tell me I was very bossy and in charge, I always made them line up in order of their age, but I always went first. So anyway, it was fun because we would be awake, seemed like forever, before we'd finally hear my mom singing Jolly Old St. Nicholas, and we could run downstairs to the tree. And I remember the year I saw Santa Claus. I was asleep in my bed, and I could hear something going on out in the living room. We lived in a little house, and I went out, and there he was, as big as day, in his red and white suit, put presents under the tree. So I'll never forget that one as long as I live.
I remember the year you had Brad play the trumpet in Colorado.
Oh, I'm glad I missed
Wake you up.
Wait, Jeremy and Mark and Matt.
I don't remember that.
They did.
He still has it.
All right. We had some traditions in our family growing up. One of the things that I always remember that a little bit on what she talked about now, but my mother would we'd wake up on Christmas morning. We'd have to get our teeth brushed, we'd have to get our brooms, we'd have to get all dressed, we'd have to get downstairs and eat breakfast, and the kitchen had to be cleaned up and everything before we could go in and sit around the Christmas tree. And then Mom would pass out a gift, and each person had to wait till that person opened the gift, and then the next person got. It probably Christmas from the time we got up until the last thing was unwrapped was probably 2 or 3 hours. But it made for a nice Christmas. And one of her traditions too was we lived on a farm, so we'd go out with a horse and sleigh. I thought it was Christmas Eve dinner, but it was probably a couple weeks out. And we'd go into the woods and pick our Christmas tree and bring it back. And Mom's favorite thing about Christmas was decorating the Christmas tree. And my father was impatient. We used to have the little bicycles. It was aluminum icicles, and they all came in a thing, and you had to take them off. Well, Dad would get impatient. He'd just throw the whole thing on, and Mom would say, "Len, just leave it alone. I'll take care of it." And she'd take each one, this one at a time, and put them on very carefully on the tree. And so that tree looked beautiful. It was absolutely a beautiful tree. And they always tried hard to give us a good Christmas. And probably the hardest Christmas, like Jason was talking about, I was in Japan. It was, let's see, 1957. Yeah. And the guys, we'd all decided to go downtown on Christmas Eve to a movie in Sendai, Japan, where they had the tsunami, and it was we're sitting in this theater full of Japanese, and we're watching the Americans beating up the Japanese in World War II, and I'm thinking, boy, we're not going to be safe in here. So we got out of there. I remember the movie was over and we left, and the guys, of course, had a lot different views of life than we did. So we got back to the base. We were on the 5th Infantry was there in Sendai, and they got shipped out to Korea, and I didn't have to go in my little group because we had a MOS that they needed in Japan. So we stayed, and all the guys anyway, they got back to the base. These big barracks, and the old barracks, and had the old shutters on them and everything, and it was windy and cold and snowy, and the shutters were just slamming against the windows. And the guy said, "Well, we're all going down to see our girlfriends. Are you coming?" And I said, "Well, I thought you guys were married." Well, that didn't matter. Anyway, I said no. I chose not to go. So they all left, and I went back up and was a couple stories into our room, and we lived in officers' village, so I had my own room. And my package did come from home, Jason, and this package made it. But I'll never forget it. I sat on the bed, opening up my Christmas, and just bawling like a baby. Because I was so lonely. But it all turned out. So, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you everybody for sharing. It's fun to hear what everybody kind of remembers as being good. So.